Hello. Hello my friends, welcome to my video. Want to share something that is really very interesting. And interesting because I recognize at the moment, I have a family member attacking me and wanting to attack me on grounds that I am insensitive to their needs, insensitive to their love, I don't care, and that I'm not how they think I should be. And that's a very interesting thing for me to watch and to observe my head. And I'm firm and I'm grounded with my choices. And again, let me just share with you, I know nothing for anyone else, and I know nothing really. All I know is that that I'm grounded in my choices, and that I experience so much. I don't experience suffering. Temporary stress arises, of course. Human beings are human beings, and as this arises, and this also starting about a few years ago, I've had a friend to attack me on many levels, and really say vile things to me, saying kind of the same thing, and that I am I'm not interested in repeating what has been said, but we all know these kind of experiences, perhaps, and we've come across individuals and relationships in our lives that have been very codependent. And you know, the awareness of the inquiry that you ask yourself, like, you know, like, am I responsible? Am I responsible for other people? Am I responsible for how people perceive myself? And this is a very interesting thing, and I know I am not responsible for anybody's opinions about me, and everyone's entitled, and everybody's truth is their truth, and that is really a divine way for me. Just because I say divine, because you know, when you spend a whole life of being codependent within yourself with circumstances, or like your life, you know, needs to be a certain way for you to feel the joy that is yours and your birthright that I talk about, that is never ever goes away, and that someone wants you to be different so they can feel better, without the inquiry of what is your responsibility in this life, and taking the responsibility. And you know, thoughts of defense can come and rise, especially when you're attacked, and well, I could say especially by a family member, but I really also realize that, you know, like, I don't know, we all have been conditioned to think that our family is more important than any other person, or any person outside of the family. Well, I think we're all equal and we're all the same, and I have a big appreciation for everyone, and so there is no separation from people for me. It's just something I've realized, and I come to realize, I don't know, for myself. And so I can see that defense could arise very sharply and quickly from the old self, the old personality that I've had, or that I have a personality. We all have personalities, which is part of the story, you know. and the ego is just so slick and sly, and my reality is bringing in that kind of experience, and I guess it is there. How do I know it's true? Because it's there. Besides that, I don't know, every moment passes, so I don't know what is true or what's not true, in the sense that I'm not responsible for anyone other than myself, and my intentions are respect towards all people, and I don't have any hatred in my heart. I guess hate could arise in the construct of an ego, but there's no such thing as differences or comparisons or better or worse or anything like that. I believe all of it's beautiful, and because I've realized that the love that I have and if it can be very confusing for people, and that's not my responsibility. It's just not my play. It's not part of my play. I don't want any drama in my life. Less drama, the better. And that starts with me. And because I'm aware of my thoughts that are coming from some kind of past, because I realize, you know, like, it's like, you know, you can say, you know, you ask yourself, like, how did I have thoughts? When I was a baby, I don't know, I didn't have any thoughts, right? I didn't have any thoughts, like, because I wasn't even, like, you know, aware. I had enough experiences, and it just grows, and then, you know, you start to experience things in relations with people and just other beings in your existence and your experience, and they're immediate, and that's with your family, and you develop, you start growing in the ego. You're 2 years old, and you want what's yours and what's mine, and you start to manipulate and become codependent, and on not only people but on systems and schooling, and dependent on what others think of you. It's just part of it in the whole system thing, you know. That's really kind of an insane thing, especially when you inquire and you investigate yourself. Why do I have these reactions towards things? Why do I feel whatever I'm feeling? Which I realize that within all these thoughts, and inquiring and asking myself, what are these thoughts that I carry around with me, and do they serve me, or what do they do to my emotions? You know, the thoughts create emotions, and I would say that for myself, like, there's energy that passes through me, and we label those as emotions, and then the thoughts come in, and you see, like, it all becomes like this thing, and we believe it, and nothing's really happening except for the things that are happening in our head. And I really believe that, you know, that when I witness the head, it's like sometimes it can be really kind of crazy and running around, and you know, especially if you're aware. You know, a lot of people are on automatic pilot, and that's all good, and I think nothing is bad or wrong or good, or nothing is like nothing. All of it is really, for me, is really love, and it cannot be conditional. And but, you know, being in this world but not of it, in a sense, is like just being aware of my infinite possibility, the infinite potential, and there's no lack here in me. And, you know, I guess, you know, my ego would want to, like, my ego, and realize I am not my ego. Your ego wants everyone to agree with you, to feel for you, and to feel, you know, and you play this charade in your life so long, and it becomes an identity, which is a false self, you know, you create a false self, and you know, it's like you need to be validated, and that's by your possessions, your wealth, your, you know, your looks, your body, or all this kind of thing that is part of that. Is really shallow in getting the attention and so-called respect from other people. And you know, I mean, a lot of people perhaps even assume that people who have these things that are, you know, where we glorify life and experience by, and we how do you say, we think that people who are successful have no problems, you know, have no problems, or who are famous, or, you know, I'm not saying I'm famous or whatever. Some people think I am, but I don't know what that means, because that means there's separation. You see where I'm going, and I think that, you know, perhaps, you know, what happens is assumptions happen in my head, can happen really fast if I'm not aware of things, and, you know, I become really in love with all of everything, of all this coming into my experience, and I can make it more or less, I have my attentions on it. I can make it worse. I can, you know, just by thinking something, and, you know, it's really a funny, crazy thing, and your mind can really come up with some kind of assumption, and a belief is something, you know, you keep thinking. That when you keep thinking a thought, it becomes real in your head, you know, that you're less than others, and then you want to hurt others, because I've done it myself. I'm not excluded from this, and so, you know, however one perceives someone else, it's like we're all the same. Like, we all have problems, we all have issues, and you know, people can be very upset with the way people choose to live their lives, especially if it's not the norm. But what is expected of you, what is expected of you, and what people expect of you is so unimportant, I find. So, you know, my thoughts are quickly observed, and I respond I respond how I choose, and not how I'm expected, expected by other people, how I'm supposed to respond to something. And so it's really valuable, and I want to share that with you before the light turns off, so this maybe turn off. But there's a great opportunity for me, and it's really loving, and I love everything in my existence, and I appreciate everything because I learn from all of it. And everything's beautiful in its way, and it shouldn't change, or nothing should change, it is what it is. I will never let people walk all over me, and that's by being silent, and not fueling the fire anymore. I have no need for that, and I live my life how I want to live it, and I want other people too. And there's no judgment of how you choose to live your life. I don't care. I don't care what you think about. I don't care what anyone thinks about my life, because I don't care what they think, how they live their lives. And that's a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing, and we're all entitled for that freedom. And freedom comes by our choices, and letting go of the need of anything to be your way, or to be circumstance is not going to make anything happier. It's just maybe temporary. I don't know. But that's what I want to share with you before the lights goes out. And I love all of you so much, and thank you for watching me. And be yourself, and be kind. Kindness is great. Kindness is just a golden rule for me, and I can do that. I can do that for myself. It's for me I'm kind, you know? Yeah. So, have a beautiful evening, and a beautiful day wherever you are, and thank you for watching and sharing, and yeah, all that. Mwah. I love you all so much. All of you. All of you. Thank you. Bye.